Imagine investing in these superstars before they ever broke out. This is the place. This is where you come to know who to invest in on Mojo, the sports stock market. So make sure you tap in. The opening bell, hosted by Ray GQ and your boy Jay Rich. Let's make some money.
Let's get it. The opening bell here Monday, November the 7th, 2022. Glad y'all are here on the Mojo YouTube channel. It's your boy Ray G, joined as always by my partner in crime at your boy Jay Rich. Jay Rich, how you doing this morning, baby?
I'm good, man. We had a stellar week in football. We had a little upset in New York. Is there a new king of New York City? I don't know. I'm not here to say that.
Mr. Gritty.
I'm not here to say that.
Mr. Gritty. Mr. Zach Wilson. Yes.
Well, he's playing pretty good.
Yes.
And then in college, 2 marquee games in college. Phenomenal weekend of football. Phenomenal. Yeah. I'm super excited to talk about it all today on Mojo. Got to talk all these quarterbacks, man. They're the movers. They're the market movers. So, Ray, where do you want to start?
I mean, when we first started, I'm just so excited because now that we're halfway through the NFL season, we're over halfway through the college season, you really see the market start to move. And as more people get involved and as more people sign up and actually engage with this product, the better it gets, right? And whether you're talking the NFL or college, the ultimate goal is if you want to go long, you want to invest in good players. You want to invest in players that are not only performing now, but you believe that they will continue to perform in the future. And we're seeing that now, Jay, from the college side. And I look at the college market, man, and I'm looking at quarterbacks like Drake Maye, who's going to be potentially the #1 overall pick in 2024, the top quarterback off of the board. We're seeing players like Quinn Ewers, Caleb Williams do their thing. We talked about him. We talked about that man out of Oregon, man. We talked about him. Bo Nix. He was one of the players that we greenlit and said, go long, Bo Nix. And right now you said 8-1 Heisman odds for Bo Nix.
8-1 to win the Heisman. 4th in Heisman voting. We can talk about Hendon Hooker and CJ Stroud and how they had a bit of a down week. Bo Nix playing against woeful Colorado, caught a touchdown, ran a touchdown in, and of course, throwing touchdowns. Bo Nix is ascending right now with basically nobody to stop him in the Pac-12. It will be very difficult for him to have some bad games going forward. Looking like the quarterback who was the 5-star prospect when he first was recruited to Oregon.
$3.56 for Bo Nix right now. $3.56 for Bo Nix right now. Jay, one more time. How much money? How much?
$3.56 for a guy who will be drafted and will have an NFL future. There was a lot of guys who are moving on Mojo who, frankly, no disrespect, ain't got much of an NFL future as far as we see it right now. But Bo Nix playing his way into 3rd-round draft capital, potentially even 2nd-round draft capital, because, again, he was so highly touted. We've seen the skills, and right now what he's doing at Oregon, it's all that matters. It's all that scouts care about. And he could potentially go to the Senior Bowl, look good there. There's lots of opportunities for him to gain value, but $3.56, got to take it.
$3, got to go long. Bo Nix, he is having an incredible season. Hendon Hooker, a guy that we've been talking about over here for the past month, right? And we look at his month's movement. A month ago, Hendon Hooker, $12.65. Now, he just got the beat down put on him by Georgia, which wasn't quite unexpected. We kind of predicted that to happen. Now, it's a tough matchup. And, right now he's $17.22. He's up 33% over the last month for Hendon Hooker. And while I'm not as confident on Hendon Hooker's draft capital as I am CJ Stroud and Bryce Young, but he's going to be at worst a 2nd-round pick in the NFL draft. You know what he kind of reminds me of, Jay? It's kind of like Teddy Bridgewater. Like a guy that...
Yes, wow, that's a really good comp.
Isn't that like he's like a guy that can start, probably not a franchise difference maker, but will get an opportunity to play in the NFL? I mean, Hendon Hooker right now, there's still some potential for some NFL upside and being priced currently at $16.87. Even with the loss, I think it's okay to go long some Hendon Hooker in the collegiate side. But, Jay, I want to talk about some young cats before we get to the NFL because we're going to spend a lot of time in the NFL talking a little Malik, talking a little Justin Fields. But Drake Maye, the quarterback from North Carolina, right now he is $17.81 on Mojo. And I'm telling you, Jay, this is a cat that I don't care where it's at right now. I can see him. Wherever Bryce Young and CJ Stroud are right now, that's going to be Drake Maye next year, man.
Yep. No, I'm with you. He's, I believe, QB3 in terms of pricing on Mojo right now, behind Caleb Williams, who is up there in
Up
pricing,
there.
and Quinn Ewers. So people are already projecting Caleb to be a top 5 pick, and frankly, I'm with them on that. I don't disagree in any way. But you talked about Drake Maye, and you've been talking about him for a while, what he's done at North Carolina, the way he's performed as a true sophomore, and, just how good he's really been. He's very difficult to not buy. He's priced right around Hendon Hooker right now. And yes, you got to wait a year, but his value is only going to go up. And just what we've seen from the 24 class, it might be better than the 23 class. I didn't think I'd be saying it, but it might be better. And with Drake Maye, Caleb Williams, Quinn Ewers, the future's bright for those 3 kids.
Jay, Drake Maye, 2,964 passing yards on the season, 4th in college football. 31 touchdowns, 1st. 3 interceptions on the season and a QBR of 89.6, which is 3rd. He also has 513 rushing yards and 4 rushing touchdowns on the season. Well over 3,500 total yards for this young quarterback, 6'4", 220 pounds. There are people who are saying it ain't Will Levis. That's the next closest thing to Josh Allen. It's Drake Maye. So I'm telling y'all right now, this is our Mojo guy, our Mojo buy and hold, diamond hands, Drake Maye. This is the quintessential type quarterback that you want to invest in Mojo for the long haul. Some of these other names, man, they're in and out. I'm in and out weekly, right? Get me in, get me out. Get me in, get me out. Get me in, cash me out. Drake Maye, I'm in and I'm staying. I'm investing, I'm parking it, I'm not looking at it, right? He has long-term investment potential, and it's you can see the pathway to not only first-round draft capital, but high first-round draft capital, and to be a franchise quarterback in the NFL, Jay, which leads us to talking about some of the guys in the NFL right now who are showing that they can potentially be those franchise difference makers. And I want to start with Justin Fields and his performance this past Sunday for the Chicago Bears. Set the NFL record for rushing yards for a quarterback, broke Mike Vick's record, 15 carries, 178 yards, a 61-yard beautiful run from Justin Fields. He also had 3 touchdowns through the air, 1 to Darnell Mooney, 2 to Cole Kmet. Talk to me about Justin Fields, man. Still priced at around, $27 for Justin Fields?
Yeah, barely ahead of Daniel Jones, which for a few weeks, we were like, maybe he can be the answer. But you know who is the answer in Chicago? Justin Fields. For everything that he doesn't have an offensive line. He doesn't have weapons to throw the ball to. He doesn't have time in the pocket. He is overcoming that at levels that we did not expect coming into this season. It was one of those years that we look at Justin Fields and we say, how is he going to do it? Well, he figured it out. He said, you know what? I'm going to do it myself. And you talked to me about this earlier, and we talked about it. He just went out there, and he said, if y'all ain't going to help me, if Equanimeous St. Brown, you're going to be dropping passes, I'm going to do it myself, right? Yep. There was actually a point on the sidelines where Mike McDaniels went up to Justin Fields and said, stop it.
Stop it.
Stop running the ball. Stop it.
Yeah.
We can't stop you. Just stop it. Let us be, right? But you look at his price on Mojo, and you're just like, they have no choice but to build around him now. He is the reason they're in these games at all. Another quarterback that's, even half as talented, just like, I don't understand how he even does it, because I don't care what quarterback you throw in that system. I don't think Zach Wilson could do it. I don't think Trevor Lawrence could do it. I don't think Mac Jones could do it. Every other quarterback in his draft class, maybe Trey Lance could do it because they have a similar skill set. But Justin Fields is the guy who was, QB1 behind Trevor Lawrence, because there was 2 QB1s in that class. 5-star prospect, the Ohio State University quarterback, Heisman frontrunner almost every year. Should have been a top 10 draft pick, should have been a top 5 draft pick. Ended up in Chicago. Now you look at him and you're like, damn, he's looking a little bit like Jalen Hurts out there.
Jay, right now, Marcus Mariota, Zach Wilson, and Mac Jones, all significantly ahead of Justin Fields. Mac Jones, $32.17. Zach Wilson, $31.97. Marcus Mariota, $31.97. And again, Justin Fields chilling at $27 right now. I mean, I would legitimately unload the clip for Justin Fields. You can see the talent. He's a floor-raising type quarterback. Despite everything that's going on in Chicago around him, he's finding a way to, if you watch the Avengers, Thanos said, fine, I'll do it myself. And that's what Justin Fields is doing. He's the Thanos of Chicago. And Hopefully it doesn't end the way that it ended for Thanos, but he did it himself. He's got to do it himself. I am all in on Justin Fields' long-term value on Mojo. He's a player that I would never short. I am going long, and I'm diamond handsing him the same way I would diamond hands Drake Maye. We did see another young rookie play last night, Malik Willis, Jay, the quarterback from the Titans. Did not expect to see Malik Willis playing last night. It was kind of a shock whenever I got the alert that Tannehill was out, and Malik Willis got the start again. 0 completions to wide receivers, probably some long completions that should not have gone as far as they did. But right now, Malik Willis is down 7.59% on Mojo after taking the L versus Kansas City. Where are you at with this young quarterback, Malik, man? He started off the day yesterday at $8.93, and he ended at $7.86. So where are we at with Malik?
I think we're where we expected to be, right? When we talked about Malik Willis a long time ago, we said, you know what? He's a guy that you buy. Some of the best values on Mojo from a wholesale perspective, Ray, backup quarterbacks. Because when they come in, their value goes through the roof. You probably aren't going to lose a ton of money investing in backup quarterbacks. But the issue is when they do play, like Malik Willis is playing, if you don't know if he's good or bad, holding him through that turmoil is not necessarily a good strategy. And this was kind of what we talked about. We wanted Malik Willis for the potential and the hype and the expectation.
Yeah.
But not necessarily because we thought he could perform, especially early in his career. We've talked about Jalen Hurts. We've talked about Justin Fields. We've talked about Malik Willis. Very similar skill sets, different pedigrees, different levels of experience, but all 3 of these quarterbacks had very substantial growing pains at the NFL level early, and I expect nothing different of Malik Willis. Would I short him? I don't know, but I don't expect much to change this season if he continues to play, and every time we've seen him, Ray, he hasn't looked very good. You know, against Houston, in a great game environment for him against an awful defense, he didn't look good. Last night, -2 yards in the second half in overtime. That's not good. So, again, at the end of the day, for me, it's like I can't really buy into him right now because I think his price is going to go down. But he still has the opportunity for the spectacular to where if he does do that, he will go up in value. And that's what scares me about shorting him. I think I'm just waiting and seeing on Malik Willis. I don't expect him to perform to where he's going to go up on Mojo right now. But he may surprise me, and I think that's why I wouldn't short him. But if I was leaning one way, it would definitely be a short.
Yeah, it's you hit the nail on the head. We were very excited about the hype around Malik Willis, and we said if he got that opportunity to start, you would see the value go up, right? We never said that he was a guy that we expected to be a long-term answer. He was a 3rd-round pick, and my fear is if you do go long Malik Willis, I don't know if he's going to have the runway to sustain that job long-term as a 3rd-round pick. Would Tennessee just go in another direction? Do they bring back Ryan Tannehill? It's interesting to see how these quarterbacks play out. And this is where I like to invest at on Mojo. If it were me, the quarterbacks seem to be the ones where you see these big value spikes, but we're also seeing it in other positions, man. I'm looking at Carolina. Terrace Marshall, Jay, one of the top movers in the market, up 1% for Terrace Marshall, man. Like, I mean, honestly, if you would have thrown a multiplier on Terrace Marshall, you know, whether that's a 2x multiplier or 3x multiplier for that wide receiver position, you're up 40-something%, potentially 60% on a $1 investment. It's $1.87. Terrace Marshall, he's playing well. We also saw the big dog, the biggest dog of them all this week, up 6%. You know who it is, Jay, from Cincy Houday Nation. Joe Mixon.
Man.
Yeah.
Dude. You want to talk about a guy who just basically put his whole situation up there on the back. Guy hasn't been able to run all season. Now he's getting to the edge. He's scoring touchdowns, catching passes in the end zone. Joe Mixon he's a guy that's very intriguing to me because you look at what he's done and you're like, maybe he's cooked. Maybe he's a little bit overpriced. But at the same time, I'm just like, man, he's just getting it done. And he's a bell cow on a great offense.
Yes,
and I think that's what matters with Mixon. But would you buy into him long term? And that's the question. I don't know if I could do it personally. I love Joe Mixon. I think he's great. But the way I look at him right now, I'm kind of like, I don't know, man. Like,
Jay, so here's the thing.
I don't know if I could do it.
I'm looking at it right now. If you go long on Joe Mixon today, right now, you could supercharge that bet. They're giving you, Mojo is allowing you to go 15x if you go long on Joe Mixon. 15 limited time. I'm on it right now. I'm looking at it. So, limited time offer. Multiply your profit or loss by 15%. 15x. So if you go long on Mixon,
Insane.
15x, you can add that. Now, conversely, if you short him, 10x limited time offer. And if it were me, I feel like he's extended too far away from the mean, right? He's too far away from the moving average. My 21 moving average, too far away from that. If I would do anything, I would short him because I don't expect him to go out there and have 211 total yards, 5 touchdowns again. I think the play would be the short. I don't want to try to catch something that's already ran up. It's already run up. It's at 2.3 ATR right now. It's got to come back down. He's got to come back down to the moving average, and I would short Joe Mixon. I would not go long, but that doesn't mean I don't believe in him long term. But where his value is today, I don't see him. This will be one that we got to watch. We got to write this down and see what happens with Mixon this week. Right now, $15.64 in the market. I would short him because I just don't. I don't anticipate him having that big of a game, and people are going to be like, "Oh man, see, I knew it. It was versus the Panthers. Whoop-de-whoop. I'm out." I would short Mixon. I would not go long Mixon today. No.
Yeah, I mean, the interesting thing about Mixon is that when he opened up the season, he was actually $18.43. So he's down 15% since he started the season, right? So you look at it from that perspective, he's already down, and it wasn't really looking good for Mixon. And can he kind of climb out of that hole? Potentially. But like you said, I don't know if this is going to be anything that I expect long-term. I don't think this running game is magically going to be really good. And on top of that, Mixon was the second leading receiver on this team. How often are we going to see that this season? Because yes, he's been catching passes out of the backfield, but he's not necessarily getting it done in the receiving game. So he's been, a pretty much just a bell cow running back who runs it up the A gap, and whatever he gets, he gets. And today or last night, he was bouncing it around. He was scoring a ton of touchdowns, but it's still Joe Burrow's offense. They're going to throw a ton, and I think Chase should be back in the next 2 weeks, at which point that really limits Mixon's upside to some regard, because we know that T. Higgins will get the ball, Chase will get the ton, and so will Boyd. So then how often they're going to get touchdowns from Mixon unless he's just running it from the goal line? That's really the biggest problem. So I'm kind of with you on the short. Even though he's down on the year, I still think there is opportunity for him to go down some more.
All right, we got the Ravens versus the Saints tonight. We always have to give a Mojo Monday night play of the day, a buy or a short in the Monday night game that you think could pop and win some people some money. So for me, I'm going to start with tight end Isaiah Likely. Right now, Isaiah Likely is priced at $3.64. You look at where he started at a month ago, $3.48. No Mark Andrews, no Rashad Bateman, no J.K. Dobbins, no Gus Edwards. The Saints don't have Marshawn Lattimore. Isaiah Likely has already got some rapport and chemistry with Lamar Jackson. You can go long Isaiah Likely right now, add you a 3x multiplier on it. And if you don't believe in him long-term, they've got the bye, and then Mark Andrews is back. This is a short-term swing. It's a swing trade. You get in on him now, let him ball out tonight, sell him in the middle of the game, at the end of the game, get your money, cash out, and move on. But I think Isaiah Likely is due for a big game tonight in the Baltimore-New Orleans game. I would go long Likely tonight, would not diamond hands it, it'd be a short-term trade. Go long Likely, cash out after the game, and then sit back and relax, count that money, man. Where you at?
I'm going with Rashid Shaheed.
Let's go.
The surprise kind of in New Orleans. He's only $1.44 on Mojo. You can add a 2x multiplier on him. He's an undrafted free agent, so people need to understand that. But for me, it's like you look at a guy like this, and we saw it against Arizona. He caught a big touchdown, and they get him involved. He can do it in the return game on top of that, which is great. I think he's just a guy that not a lot of people know. Don't talk about him a lot. Doesn't get a ton of use in the offense, but Michael Thomas is out for the year. Jarvis Landry might not play. Andy Dalton has been throwing the ball a ton, and Marcus Williams isn't supposed to play in this game. They're very highly touted, very highly paid free safety who keeps the top on that defense in Baltimore. Now, they're playing in New Orleans. I think they try and blow the top off, and Rashid Shaheed is going to be the guy who does that. He's a guy you want to look out for because he's already banked $0.12 on Mojo, and he's done basically nothing this season. He's got a couple touchdowns, and his price is only $1.44. So even if you think things can get a little bit worse for him, it's possible. But if he pops at all today, he's going to go up a lot.
I agree.
Talking about Terrace Marshall popping up at $1, and all he did was get like 50 yards and a touchdown.
Yeah.
Rashid Shaheed can do that easily, so he could be popping again tonight.
There it is. Rashid Rashid
Shaheed. Weird name, but I like it.
And Isaiah Likely. Those are your Monday night Mojo market buys. Go long, Shaheed. Go long, Isaiah Likely. Short-term trade, right? You're not diamond hands in old Shaheed, are you?
Probably not.
Right,
but I mean, this is you swinging for that 20% with the multiplier.
Right.
Like you could see a 40% type of return. You could see 30%. I think it's worth adding the 2x multiplier because he can go way up, right?
Yeah.
And you talk about likely.
And the good thing about that is, even if he doesn't do anything, I don't know how he's not going to just crater, right? Because he doesn't even have any
much
value.
further to go. Yeah.
Yeah, he doesn't have any value, so he's not going to crater if you. That's actually a really good one, Jay. I like that one. Good call, man. Good call.
Appreciate it.
Good call. Anything you want to say to people before we get out of here?
Man, I would just say you got to sign up at Mojo, like legit. I mean, that's it. If you're not signed up, you got to go sign up. And if you can't sign up yet, check it out because there may be a time when you can. Maybe coming sooner than you think. So I would definitely go download the app, check it out. And if you can't invest, man, Drake Maye we talked about.
Drake Maye.
Bo Nix, maybe. Drake Maye, 12-1 to win the Heisman. People say he's a dark horse. They may win the ACC. I'm just saying. It is an opportunity. And then we didn't talk about this either, Ray. I want to touch on this very quickly. Cade Klubnik could be the starter going forward for the Clemson Tigers, and that will cause an increase in his value. DJ Uiagalelei was benched versus Notre Dame. There could be an opportunity for Klubnik, and I did tweet about it earlier in the week when he was benched. But now if he is the starter, another 2025 quarterback, one of the top guys in the class, he could be a guy who rises a lot this season going forward.
Isn't it interesting that we see our friends and people in our circle that when they get to the eligible state, they're like, hey, man, who do I get on Mojo? We're getting our friends to ask us, hey, I'm in the state. Who do I go long on? Who do I short on Mojo? It's really cool to see more people taking on to this product. And I can't wait till everybody can partake in it. It's awesome. We enjoy it. We thank y'all for being here. Make sure you hit the thumbs up button, subscribe, like the content. Comment below. Let us know who you would go long on or who you would short. Let us know what you think about these college players and these NFL assets. And as always, make sure you're following us on Twitter because we tweet stuff out on Saturdays before the games. We'll probably put some stuff out today for the NFL and throughout the week over here on Mojo. We appreciate y'all tapping in. Y'all enjoy football this week, and we'll see y'all next Monday for another episode of The Opening Bell. For Ray, for Jay, I'm out of this thing. Peace.